everybody, Drew here. Welcome to the second installment of Country Chord Changes. Last week we covered licks that we could play over the E form chord, the A form chord and the C form chord. This week we're going to fill in the gaps, so that means we're going to learn a lick that we can play over the G form chord and one for the D form chord. Once we've got all these down, that essentially means that we've got a lick that we can play over not only each chord shape, but that means we can actually play 5 licks for every chord that we can come across. So grab your guitar, grab a pick, let's jump into it. The first chord form that we're going to cover this week is going to be a G form chord. Now this one's based on the open G chord. We simply reform the chord with our second, third and fourth fingers, and when we slide it up, we use our index finger to replace the nut. Now the other good thing with this chord shape is that it neatly fits over pattern 1 of your major pentatonic scale, which is this guy. So if I play it in the key of A, our root note is going to be on the 5th fret, and we just play that shape. So anywhere where we can play that chord form, we can play pattern 1 of our major pentatonic scale. The lick that we're going to learn to play over our G form chord is going to sound like this. To play this lick, we're going to start on the 9th fret of the D string, followed by a hammer on to the 11th fret. We're then going to pluck the 9th fret of the G string, followed by the 9th fret of the D string again. We're then going to play the 11th fret on the G string, and we're going to bend it up to the major third of the E chord. So we're going to bend it up, followed by the 9th fret on the high E, which we're plucking, so I'm snapping that with my middle finger, followed by the 12th fret on the B string, and I'm plucking that with my middle finger on my right hand again. Then we pre-bend the G string. So the 11th fret of the G string, we're going to pre-bend it up to the major third, and we're going to release it. And then we finish off by playing the root note of the E chord, which is the 9th fret of the G string. So all up, it's going to sound like this, nice and slow. And then back up to speed. Okay, the last lick is going to be played over an A chord, and it's going to be played over our D form. So to play our D form, we simply look at an open D chord. Once again, we refinger it with our second, third and fourth fingers, and we use our index finger to be a bar. So for our A chord, we're going to find ourselves with our root note on the D string up at the 7th fret. Now the lick that we're going to play for this is going to sound like this. To play this lick, we're going to start off with our hopefully familiar minor third to major third resolution. So 8th fret on the high E string, sliding up to the 9th fret. We're then going to play the 10th fret on the B string, followed by a chromatic walk from the 9th fret on the G string down to the 7th fret on the G string. That one's covered by the 9th fret on the D, and then we jump over to the 5th fret of the G string. We want to play the minor third to major third resolution again. So that's 5th fret G to 6th fret G, followed by the 7th fret on the D string, a pull off to the 5th fret, then we play the 7th fret on the A, and then a slide from the 5th fret on the D string up to the 7th fret, which just happens to be ending on the root note, which is an A. So nice and slow, the lick's going to sound like this. Once more. Now that we've got a lick for our G form chord and our D form chord, what I'd like you to do is practice playing those up and down the neck like we did last week. So if we think of the key of E this week, our 1 chord is going to be an E chord, our 4 will be an A, and our 5 will be a B. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to find each of those licks and play it over each of those chords initially up and down the neck. So for example, if I played our G form lick, that's in our root position. So E, if I play it over A, the root note's under my pinky on the 5th fret. And then our B chord, we're going to find that with our root note under our pinky on the 7th fret. Once you've gotten familiar with playing those licks up and down the fretboard in the different keys, the next challenge is to play over those chord progressions in one area of the neck. Now, if you'd learnt the licks from the last lesson, that means you've now got 5 licks, one for each of the cage chord forms. And because anywhere you can play the chord, you can play the lick, that means you've got enough licks to cover the entire fretboard no matter what chord you might find yourself playing over. I uploaded a backing track last week in the key of E. It's a standard 1-4-5 chord progression. So what I'd like you to do is to jump over to that track and practice playing all of those 5 licks over that chord progression. Once you're comfortable improvising with these 5 licks that we've learnt over these standard 1-4-5 chord progressions, the next step is to steal as many licks as you can from everyone that you can. If you hear a lick on a record that you like, you want to try and transcribe that lick, figure out how to play it, and then once you can play it, you want to figure out what chord shape it was played over. As an example, I'm going to use this lick. I pinched that lick off an acoustic cover of Workin Man Blues by an American artist by the name of John Piper. I'll drop the link in the description to the video so you can have a listen for yourself. He's a great singer and a great player. Now, once I transcribed the lick and figured out how to play it, the next step was to figure out what chord it was being played over. Now, I know that the Workin Man Blues cover was in the key of A, and that the first chord of the solo is an A chord. So I was pretty confident that that lick was going to be played over an A chord. Now, if I sit there and analyze it, just take the first 2 notes, for example. I'm sliding from the minor third to the major third of an A chord. So it's an E form. It's over an E form bar chord. And it's going minor third, major third, up to the root note or the tonic on the 5th fret of the high E. So just from those couple of notes, I'm pretty confident that you can play that lick over an E form chord shape. So let's say that I want to play that lick over a B chord. All I have to do, once again, is look for where's my E form B chord. It's at the 7th fret. And then I can play the lick there. And as you can see, it resolved back to a B note, 2nd fret on the A string. So what I'd like you to do is any licks that you already know, have a look and see which one of those 5 chord shapes the lick can be played over. And then you can transpose that to any key you want. And all you have to do is keep stealing licks. So have fun with this week's lesson, practice hard, play heaps, and I look forward to seeing you next time when we're going to have a look at how we can link one chord form to the next with a few linking licks. Can't wait to see you then. Bye. One last thing, everybody. If you've gotten something out of this video and you've actually learned something and you've applied it to your playing and it's given you some success, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to get notified of any further videos, and I can't wait to see you next time. Talk to you soon. Bye.